Hey, it's Mark. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to talk about using semaglutide, aka Wegovy or Ozempic, and what it's like to use it after having had weight loss surgery. Now, I'm not a doctor, at least not the kind that can help anybody. I've got a PhD in anthropology/archaeology, but I did have bariatric surgery and I'm currently using semaglutide, so I do feel fully qualified to talk about this from a patient perspective. But hopefully it goes without saying that nothing in this video constitutes medical advice. We good? Okay. So I had my bariatric surgery about 4 years ago. I lost about 200 pounds and kept it off for a year or two. But then my life got really stressful. I suffered a lot of loss, both personally and professionally. And unfortunately, I went back to some of my crappy old eating habits and I regained more than half the weight. But I did still manage to keep off about 80 pounds, which is nothing to sniff at, right? 80 pounds is still a lot of weight to keep off. But my weight was going up, and so to nip that in the bud, my weight loss surgeon put me on semaglutide earlier this year, and I've lost about 70 pounds in the last 7 months or so. So in total, I'm down 150 pounds from my heaviest weight. I started at 440 pounds, and this morning I was right around 290, and I'm still consistently losing about a pound or two a week, which I'm totally happy with. I'm honestly not in a hurry to lose all the weight all at once. Slow and steady is fine with me. So I do my semaglutide shots every Monday morning. They don't hurt at all. It's just a itty bitty tiny little pokes, and I'm good to go. So here's what semaglutide does for me. At first, it reduces my cravings for junk food. Second, it helps me feel full with less food. And third, it helps me feel full for longer. In a nutshell, I just don't need to eat as often or as much, and I find myself naturally gravitating towards better quality foods. Now, from what I understand, semaglutide does those same three things for pretty much everyone that takes it. These things are not unique to those of us that have had the surgery. But for those of you who have had the surgery, I want to put it into terms that you might uniquely understand. And so here it is. It feels like being back in the honeymoon phase. You know, it's that first year or so after surgery when the weight just kind of falls off and you get a break from the food noise. And if you don't know what food noise is, it seems pretty self-explanatory, but it's that constant nagging, soul-crushing hunger, those obsessive thoughts about food that you get, especially when you're trying to lose weight. The surgery quiets that noise for about a year, maybe a year and a half, but then it starts slowly creeping back. Semaglutide quiets the food noise for as long as you're on it. You can be back in the honeymoon phase for as long as you're on the medication. Now, it's not quite as dramatic as the actual honeymoon phase after surgery. It does help quiet the food noise, but it doesn't completely silence it. You'll still get cravings for your favorite food sometimes, but it's like it increases your ability to resist the temptation. It helps you say no to the junk food more often. It also makes it a whole lot easier to eat less. You feel full sooner. You actually will get fullness cues. I don't know about you, but I never used to feel full. It was so frustrating. I would eat healthy foods in healthy quantities, and I'd still feel like I was starving. Here's the great thing. Whichever diet you're doing, semaglutide is going to help you do it better. You want to do keto? Great. Do keto. It's going to help you do keto better. You want to try intermittent fasting? Fantastic. It's going to help you intermittently fast better. It's basically injectable willpower. Now, it won't make you perfect on your diet, but you don't need to be perfect all the time to lose weight. You just need to do a little bit better most of the time. In fact, I probably shouldn't admit this, but as I was preparing for this video, I felt like a donut. So I went and I got a donut, and I was satisfied with one donut. In the past, I would get 2 or 3 donuts, and I'd sometimes still want more. There's no way I could do that now. I physically couldn't, even if I wanted to, because of what the semaglutide does. Aside from the occasional donut, my diet now is pretty similar to what it was that first year or so when I was losing weight after my surgery. I eat mostly lean proteins, a lot of chicken, a lot of fish, a lot of veggies. I also eat a lot of fortified protein chili. You need your protein, by the way. You will lose muscle on semaglutide, just FYI. So lift some weights, eat your protein, and keep an eye on it, please. As for other concerns and complaints, I'll save those for another video, but I personally haven't had any negative side effects at all from semaglutide, like none. So the only complaint I want to mention here is the cost. If you get the brand name stuff like Ozempic or Wegovy, it's going to set you back about $1,300 a month, and most insurance will not cover it. Or you can do like me and get the back alley stuff from a compounding pharmacy, and it'll only run you about $250 to $300 a month. If you're not familiar with compounding pharmacies, what they essentially do is create like a home brewed generic version of semaglutide that's not regulated by the FDA, and that's why it's so much cheaper. It's not even an official generic. Mine isn't really back alley, by the way. I get it filled at a reputable local compounding pharmacy. It's one that my surgeon recommended to me. And honestly, the medication pretty much pays for itself. I used to blow, 10, 15, 20 bucks a day on fast food. I was easily spending $500 a month just eating out. So this expensive medication is actually saving me money in the long run. Now, you don't need a weight loss surgeon or any other specialist to get it prescribed to you. Your primary care doctor can do it. But if you don't have easy access to a local doctor, there are some other options. There are some places online that offer consultations and online pharmacies that you can order from. But some of them might be kind of sketchy from what I hear, so just be careful who you're getting it from, Do a little research on the places that you're talking to and ordering from. And if at all possible, please make sure you talk to your own doctor first. That is your safest bet. Now, even though I'm totally pro semaglutide right now, I am still a huge proponent of bariatric surgery for those that are morbidly obese. Statistically, you will lose so much more weight with bariatric surgery than you will with semaglutide. And the surgery works long-term, basically your whole life. Whereas the semaglutide only works for as long as you take it. So financially, it's actually a lot cheaper in the long run just to get the surgery. In my last video, I talked about how bariatric surgery typically won't make you thin. And what I meant by that is that most people lose between 50 to 80% of their excess weight after the surgery. But more often than not, they don't get down to a normal BMI. And there are about 20 to 30% of patients like me that have some serious regain after the surgery. But that means there's 70 to 80% of patients that don't. The good news is there have been a couple of recent studies of bariatric surgery patients that had some regain after surgery that they put on semaglutide. And they were able to successfully lose between 10 to 15% of their total body weight. And in another study, it showed that semaglutide helped take off about 2/3 of the weight that surgery patients had regained. So long story short, semaglutide after bariatric surgery can be a wonderful thing. But overly optimistic folks might try to convince you that you can change your lifestyle so dramatically while you're on semaglutide that you'll be able to stick to it once you come off it. But the reality is the semaglutide is the linchpin of those lifestyle changes. It's not only what enables you to make those changes, it's what enables you to maintain those changes. But as soon as you remove semaglutide from your lifestyle, the rest of the lifestyle is going to go out the window. You have to stay on this medicine if you want to keep the weight off. It's unfortunate, but it's the hard truth. It's a treatment. It's not a cure. It's just like any other medication designed to treat a specific condition. You wouldn't expect your blood pressure to stay low after you come off your blood pressure medication. You come off the medication, the blood pressure goes up. It's the same thing with weight loss medication. You stop taking the weight loss medication, your weight goes up. You may think you're the exception and that you're convinced you'll be able to keep it off long-term without medication, but you won't. I'm sorry, you just won't. This is a long-term commitment, and that is a major downside to it. But I know you're committed. I know you've been doing everything you can to lose weight for years and years. Some of you even haven't gotten surgery. And I really do believe that semaglutide can help you achieve those goals. That's why I'm making this video, because I believe in you. Anyways, that's all I've got for today. If you want, you can check out some of my other videos. And until next time, just be good and I'll catch you later.